this goes so that we can slide into winter break and attend all the concerts and things that are happening around our district. So I'd like to acknowledge first off that we are meeting tonight on the shared territory of these, I was going to say Squamish, but I was just there, Qualicum and the Neuse First Nations, and we thank them for their stewardship of the land and where we all have the privilege of live, learning, and playing. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please, trustees, to adopt the agenda? Thank you, trustee Young. Thank you, trustee Kellogg. All those in favor? Carried. Oh, and I'll note the absence of trustee Kurland. He is in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Approval of the consent agenda, which really only contains our last meeting, regular board meeting minutes of November 25th. A mover and a seconder, please, to approve consent agenda items from sorry, as listed above. Mover trustee Young, seconder trustee Kellogg. All those in favor? Carried. No delegations, no public question period, no business arising. Merritt Arrowsmith Teachers Association sends their regrets. CUPE sends their regrets. The District Parent Advisory Committee. And here comes Marina, and I'll put you on the spot. We have moved through our agenda quickly, and Marina, and it's up to your District Parent Advisory Committee report. And so would you like to speak to it? Sorry.
No,
sorry. We got regrets for everything else above you.
No worries. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. All right, let me open up my statement. I am ready to go. So I think this is an important one. As we approach the holiday season, we would like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to every staff member across the district. We see and deeply value the commitment, professionalism, and heart that makes our schools the caring, welcoming places our children rely on every day. We offer a special note of gratitude to the district's support staff, many of whom are represented by CUPE, including classroom EAs, maintenance teams, bus drivers, custodial staff, and school office administrators. You often are the first faces students see each morning and the steady hand guiding them throughout the day. You work closely with our most vulnerable and complex learners, keeping our buildings clean and safe, support behavioral needs, prepare meals, and ensure daily operations run smoothly. During this busy time of year, your contributions can sometimes be unintentionally overlooked in the swirl of parent gift giving, even though you are the ones cleaning up after festivities, managing the unexpected, and holding so much together behind the scenes. Please know that families notice it, students feel it, and DPAC appreciates it. As we look ahead at 2026, we are reminded of the district's mission. We embrace a spirit of curiosity and a joy for learning that challenges everyone to become informed and confident designers of their own future. With all the challenges and opportunities our students and staff are navigating, this mission feels especially resonant. It reflects the possibility and shared responsibility that define our district. And we know that as a community, students, families, staff, and leadership, we will continue to grow, learn, and move forward together. To all teachers, administrators, support staff, and district teams, thank you for the countless ways you pour into student well-being, belonging, and learning. We wish each of you a restful, relaxing, and rejuvenating holiday break. And DPAC looks forward to continuing this work together in the new year. Thank you.
Thanks, Marina. Very heartfelt and so appropriate to sometimes we just don't say it enough. So thank you for that. No action items, information items, and we'll start off with the superintendent's report. Dr. Jory.
Thanks, Chair Flynn. Season's greeting, everyone. Hello, bonjour, Squale, CMCAA. I'll start by reminding everyone of our school catchment town hall on January 14th. We now have the latest demographic data back from Beauregard, so we'll be sharing those updated projections. Mention some prior changes. some of the potential responses to enrollment pressure, and the next set of recommendations that will be going to the board for consideration. It should be noted that overall district enrollment projections are down considerably from what we were seeing 3 years ago. There's a number of factors that drive population growth have changed since that time. However, we are still concerned about Springwood Elementary, especially with that new complex across from QF coming online sometime next year. And Ecole Ballina Secondary still looks to be heading over its listed capacity, so the responses will be primarily aimed at relieving enrollment pressure at those two sites. Please tune in if you are interested. There has been some discussion lately about our posted payroll position. This has come back to me in a number of ways. I do want to remind everyone that adding an additional position would be a budgetary consideration, and that additional cost would have to be approved by the Board of Education through a public process. I think that if you're on this call or watching this recording later, you are already well aware of that, any temporary selective amnesia notwithstanding. If you have been paying attention to budget conversations over the last few years, you would have heard me say a number of things. One comment in particular that I have shared is that if you're going to make reductions out there in the field, meaning in the schools, you should start by making reductions in here, meaning the central office. Tighten your own belt first, so to speak. Well, we've certainly done that, people. Through attrition and other means, we have reduced our central staff roster by several positions in recent years. In regard specifically to finance and payroll, when we had first anticipated some retirements a few years back, I asked Secretary Treasurer Amos to hold off on immediate replacements, to reassign work as needed, determine where the gaps were, then restructure to balance the workload with fewer overall staff in place and those reductions captured in budget. The intention was to meet our needs more accurately with overall lower staffing incurred. This posting is the final step of that planned restructure, the cost of which still sits within previously approved and significantly reduced staffing budget. Yes, this posting is for an exempt position, and that is different. In this district, we have carried on with the practice of having unionized workers in roles giving them access to discrete information, sometimes asking them for supervisory or decision-making responsibility that I think can be inappropriate, all while putting the organization at risk in unique times such as closures or job actions. This change will help alleviate some of those risks and concerns, and frankly, I think it's overdue. If you were genuinely curious about this being a budget addition, well, I mean, you could have asked, and I would encourage you to do so in the future. We are still working through financial pressures. Last budget season was full of conversations regarding declining enrollment and increased costs and the reductions required to balance our budgets. This was hard work, but very necessary. You will also recall last September when we had to make reductions after a number of students left us for a private program. Predictably, some are finding their way back to us after September 30th of this year, of course, and we are doing our very best to support them, along with some other new students, with what we have. We have plans to release more staffing to schools prior to the return from winter break. We are just waiting for the ministry to confirm that we are out of funding protection through the recalculation process, which they should do any day now. On that note, I hope everyone will have a chance to enjoy. Wait a second.
Whoops.
Whoa. Hang on a second. Oh.
Favor.
We just heard from the ministry and we get more money?
Yeah, that would be a
Just
great
a
bet.
recalc. Just a recalc.
This just
It
in.
happens.
Yeah, this
Okay,
just in.
Yeah, no, that would be a great bet. That being said, restrictions aside, we are thriving out there. When I visit schools, the mood seems positive and focused. Some staff are appreciating the $200,000 in extra additional supply funding that we put in place for this year. The new washrooms at the new high schools are amazing. The new track is fantastic. Staff and student learning is going very well, and I will let my two colleagues speak to that as I usually do. I do know this is a hectic time in schools, though, December, so we're getting close to activating our new system of field trip cost averaging. I got 0 PVP volunteers to join that conversation, which is really unusual for us, or the central supply fund conversation for that matter. So next steps will need to wait until January, I would guess. Now, what are they so busy doing? Well, on that note, I hope everyone will have a chance to enjoy a winter concert or two around the district in the next 2 weeks. I attended an afternoon show today and plan to see at least 2 more. I would like to remind everybody, while this is generally seen as a fun and exciting time of year, not all families celebrate Christmas, and not all adults and students actually enjoy this time of year, and I'm not talking about myself right now. It is our responsibility to provide an inclusive learning environment where everyone feels that they belong, and our public-facing communication needs to respect that diversity. That being said, really enjoyed the show today. Lots of new material, and this may not be a completely universal sentiment, but I thought the kids were pretty much on key. That being said, please enjoy yourself, everyone, safely, of course, and have a very well-deserved and restful holiday when you're able to do so. Thank you again to all staff for their hard work and enthusiasm this December. Well done, everyone. Thank you. Merci. Isepqua.
Thank you, Dr. Jory. Yes, and hopefully lots will chime in and attend the town hall, because it's always good for people to hear things firsthand. Now I could move on to the educational programs update. Associate Superintendent Wilson and Director of Instruction, Mr. Terpstra. Not sure who's going to go first. I think Jill went last time. So, Mr. Terpstra,
Sure.
up to you.
Good evening, everyone. And not a lot to report as we haven't had our Ed committee, but a couple of things coming up on the Ed committee that people will be interested to hear. I just want to thank our teachers. We had 20 teachers and 2 of our PVP that regularly, the PVP that is, that regularly lead our team of FSA marking. We had 20 teachers, and while it was a great session, it's great feedback and great learning for all of our teachers to talk about assessment. They also provide the district with really good feedback on an analysis and snapshot of what trends that they see emerge from our grade 4 and 7s in numeracy and literacy. One of the big highlights was just the fact that we noticed kids, students, perseverance, completing the assessments, almost all of them. And that was a definitely uptick in that this year. But I'm gonna encourage you to join our Ed committee, and you'll see a detailed summary of all the feedback from that session. And then the last thing that I just wanted to highlight is we had our second session in December with Leighton Schneller. It's called Weaving Local Indigenous Knowledge and Literacy. We hosted it at Bolinas, and it was an amazing learning day. We had a learning round in one of our classrooms, 30 kids, 30 teachers in the room, and then a whole afternoon of learning with Leighton Schneller. And also our Indigenous Ed team shared more of the videos from our timeline project. And why I'm mentioning this is that on Thursday, Qualicum School District is hosting literacy leads from the whole entire island. All districts are going to be there, sending their lead literacy people, anywhere from teacher leaders up to associate superintendents. And we'll be sharing our literacy plans, talking about specific initiatives and learning from each other, and that's this Thursday. So again, all of that's coming to you at Ed Committee at a future date in January, and we wish everyone a great holiday, and that's all from me today.
Thanks, Mr. Terpstra. The timeline project, when do you think it's all going to be wrapped out and we'll be able to put it out?
Yeah, definitely in the new year. It's all there and it's all great. We're making some minor edits, and because we're working with another team that does the technical aspects, and because it's so big, once that all has to be finalized, and so we are using it in bits and pieces right now, but it's not fully all available to all teachers. But teachers have definitely, even at that session, got to look at videos and then think about how they'd use them in their classroom. So early in the new year, but I never like to give a hard date on these things, but it's coming quickly.
Oh, good. Yeah, because the Professional Day in November had a little snippet of it as well, which was wonderful to see. Trustee Young.
Yes, it's good to hear it because we haven't met about the education committee meeting. We've kind of emailed each other, but I know that we're hoping to bring that timeline forward to an ed committee meeting too. So I'm looking at you, Mr. Terpstra. We may try to meet tomorrow. Maybe send me an invite. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, Associate Superintendent Ms. Wilson.
Just a couple things. One of the things that we communicated out to our schools through the principals and vice principals was routines, routines, routines. I think sometimes this time of the year, it gets very challenging when there's not the routines and the excitement and keeping people in that space for learning. We had to postpone a couple of sessions last week. We've had a nasty flu bug hit us, and so our teachers teaching on call were very busy this last couple of weeks, and we didn't have enough to do one of our learning series that we wanted to do for literacy, so we did postpone it to after the winter break. So looking forward to that. Bolinas hosted the basketball tournament for the elementary schools last Thursday. Sorry, it was last Friday. They had a hockey game against the staff against Bolinas at the arena on Thursday. Sorry, I get my dates mixed up. So when I talk about routines, and then we add things like that in, it does create a pretty exciting time for kiddos. And as Superintendent Jory said, we have to balance that with recognizing that it's not always an easy time for families at this time of the year. In saying that, I want to acknowledge all the work that the Hands and Hearts program has done to get the winter hampers ready for families that go out next week, and really want to thank the staff that deliver those hampers on the 18th, which is next Thursday. They get picked up. We're using Craig Street Commons as our pickup site, and the families are going to have their hampers delivered that evening. So I really want to acknowledge the staff that do the delivery. It is wonderful for families. And a special shout out to the Hands and Hearts community program that allow our families to have such a gift at this time of year when it's very challenging for many. So wishing all a great holiday season.
Thanks, Ms. Wilson. Seeing no hands, I wish I'd known about the basketball tournament. Would have been so much fun. Okay, no educational committee report. Next meeting, though, we'll shout out for all the next meeting dates. January 13th at 2 o'clock. Finance and Operations Committee meeting of the whole was scheduled for January the 20th at 10:30. And the Policy Committee of the whole is January 20 at 1. All are recorded and all are video conferencing. So I'll move to report from representatives to outside organizations, a piece that Trustee Young has been following, pages 9 to 14 in your package. And would you like to add any further comments to the presentation in the package, Trustee Young?
Yeah, thank you. So these have been really good. And one of the things that I'm recognizing is that we need to really, and I've believed this for a long time, we need to focus on ability. And I would really like to get rid of that word called disability, because we all have different abilities, and what we bring can sometimes be of benefit, even if some people see it as a disability. Having said that, I've been also following a CBC series called The Assembly, where people who identify themselves as neurodivergent and autistic interview celebrities. And if you can catch this, it is really great. And it is so good to see people who some people think don't have certain abilities actually do things that are normal and everyday things, and they're quite exceptional at doing it. Having said that, I think I've included the full 5 pages, thanks to Karen we tried to make it smaller, but it wouldn't work. I think there are some interesting questions on page 14 here that parents could ask, and hopefully we would have all the right answers. for you. If we don't, we certainly need to hear about it in the most respectful of ways. We want our students to have the full experience of being students in Qualicum School District and to thrive in their own ways. So those are just some things to point out there. Obviously, I'm following the equity stream. It's an interest of mine, and I will just update under trustee items some of the other stuff that I've been involved in. So thank you for the time.
Thanks, Trustee Young. Seeing no hands, I'll move to trustee items, to which my colleagues, Trustee Young and Trustee Kellogg, have attended. We all attended the BC School Trustees Fall Academy, our professional learning experience. Very valuable. We all try to attend different things so that we hear different things. And pages 15 to 18 in your report tonight are feedback comments from Trustees Young and Trustee Kellogg. And do either of you wish to add to your comments? Trustee Young.
Just to update, like I say, I've been following an equity stream, and I will continue to do that. I've also attended a couple of other events in the last little while that have been really neat. So a shout out to Mount Arrowsmith Biosphere Association, who organized their usual annual kind of trip around the biosphere at KSS. It was really good. And I actually dropped by their office today and picked up some reading material, which I will leave in trustee boxes. One of them is a report on community profile, and it's a little bit dated, but it might provide us with some very interesting information. So a little winter reading. And then through the Retired Teachers Association, I went to support a retired teacher colleague at the December 6th vigil that was organized by the Nanaimo and Cowichan labor folks and council. Thank you. And that was a really eye-opening experience to me because I know a lot of the people in the audience, and I realized that my other interest, and this is a social justice interest, is in social justice. So social justice, equity, and environment are going to be things that I really work on in the next year. And then there's also another webinar that I attended, and I'll write that up over the break and present it, probably as an outside agency. And it was around implementing equity action in governance. So there you go. That's what I've been up to, as well as concerts and good stuff like that. Thank you.
Good stuff. Trustee Kellogg, would you like to add to your comments?
Just to say how valuable I find the Academy, just because it provides learning that I was given at the beginning of my trusteeship, and it's kind of a refresher to remind me what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, and I love being able to talk to other districts throughout the province. I find that really valuable. Anyways, that's it. My report's there. Go ahead and have a read if you wish.
Great. No, and people, if you have questions, please reach out to the trustees that attended, because it was a fulsome program for sure. Our next item on our agenda is the board Christmas donation on behalf of our Qualicum School District staff. That the Board of Education School District 69 Qualicum support the annual donation on behalf of staff with the monetary value of $1,000 being directed to the Hands and Hearts food program. Could I have a seconder, trustees? Thank you, Trustee Kellogg. This has been a long-standing commitment by this district to this program, formerly known as the Backpack Program. And as you've heard from Associate Superintendent Ms. Wilson, they're gearing up to getting their Christmas hampers ready. It has been a powerful program, and worked still very hard over the years to create a very special special package for families at Christmas time. And this, as I say, we have done for many, many years. Are there any questions or additional comments, trustees? Seeing none, I'll call the question then. Okay, trustee Young, sorry.
Yeah, just to give a bit of background, we used to do oranges, right? So we used to like
Yep.
go and buy, you know, gosh knows how many oranges and distribute them to schools. And we decided a few years ago that it might be better served giving it to the Hands on Hearts program, because they could access more stuff for our $1,000 than we could going to QF or Save On or whatever. So that's kind of a bit of the history of that. I don't know. Did I get it right, Eve?
Yeah, I think we took a bit of a turn to say, instead of delivering everything to staffs and staff rooms and things like that, we chose to take the same value that we had expended on that and to give it to Hands and Hearts, so it served our community. And I think we've had our support from our staff in that venture as well in our schools. I think they appreciate. Seeing no further hands or questions, call the question. All those in favor? Thank you. That's carried. There's no unfinished business. There's no correspondence. I did get a quick flash update though from Director of Operations over the time of our meeting that the opening for the Springwood Playground is going to be on December the 17th at 10 in the morning. So come those who want to see the newest addition to the district as their playground, and take a slide if you were brave enough. I wouldn't slide off any part of the Noosa Elementary School playground stuff this anymore. A bouncy castle is about as far as I go these days. So is there any public questions from the public? There wasn't really a lot of public. Okay, no questions from the audience this evening. I just want to wish everybody, as the board collective as well would, happy holidays, restful times, good times with family and friends, rejuvenate those batteries, and take stock for 2026. Who knows where September, October, November, December went, but it's kind of like April, May, June. Things don't seem to be slowing down. So very best wishes to everybody, and thank you for all you do for our district, and have a wonderful winter break. Good night, everyone.
Motion.
Motion to adjourn. I'm sorry. Okay, Carol. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Amos, keeping me on task. Okay, motion to adjourn. Thanks, everyone.